Hello, everyone. I'm Darien Gold, and welcome to All Things Pilates, Season 7. In this season, you'll hear inspiring stories about the healing power of Pilates and from teachers around the world who will share how they're helping to make Joseph Pilates' wish come true by bringing more attention to the gift he left us, Contrology, transforming bodies one studio and one country at a time. Our guest today, Shelly Knight-Jones, creator of the Knight Technique and Pilates Barre workouts, has been through an experience none of us would wish on any woman. In 2022, Shelly was diagnosed with DCIS Stage 0 breast cancer, and thinking it not such a big deal, went on with her life. But Shelly learned soon after her diagnosis she needed a lumpectomy. During the procedure, they discovered the pea-sized lump was larger than anticipated, and when the pathology report revealed non-clean margins, with the advice of her doctor, she made the decision to have a double mastectomy. Today, Shelly is 2 years clean, and thankfully she's healed remarkably well. Though still passionate about Pilates and her other fitness endeavors, Shelly's approach to teaching has changed. Welcome to All Things Pilates, Shelly Knight-Jones.
Hello, Darien. Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Thank you. When you were growing up, I'm assuming you were a very active little girl.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about that time frame for you.
So I was always on the go, as my mom said, dancing at a very young age on coffee tables and putting on shows for my cousins and aunts and uncles and cartwheels down the grocery aisle. And yeah.
One of those.
One of those. Yeah. And when I grew up, through college, I continued to dance. I was also a cheerleader, a diver, a gymnast. I dabbled in gymnastics, track and field athlete. I played a lot of different sports, and dance was always my one thing, though, that I really loved. And we went skiing one day.
Well, how old are you at this point?
I was actually in college, I believe, my last year of college, and I blew my knee out. And I'd been slightly introduced to Pilates before from dancing in college, but just the floor stuff. I didn't even know about the machines. And I blew my knee out, and your dancing career is pretty much done at that point, which was a bummer. And I found a local little studio that offered reformer classes. And I decided, I'm going to try this. I know Pilates, thinking I knew it, and went in, and it was wonderful. And on the second class, I raised my hand and was like, how can I be certified? This is my thing. And it just spoke to me and kind of continued my activeness, if you will. So you went to your first, what modern people would say, reformer class. Of right.
Course, we know that is not the full picture.
Exactly.
But how did your knee respond?
So at that time, it was better, but it was still achy. And I do recall after going through the training, being on the reformer and all the other apparatuses, wow, my knee I didn't even feel it anymore. And it's still, knock on wood, wonderful. So I credit the Pilates repertoire to that, hands down. And it was wonderful. It was great timing and everything.
Amazing.
Yeah. Which, we'll get to, I think, later, but after other things that have happened, I do use Pilates as rehab. It definitely.
That was the intention.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're dancing your whole life, basically, until Pilates comes into your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go through this program. It was comprehensive. You went on most of the apparatus.
Yes, it was the core dynamics.
Now, this was in California because I was trying to think, how did we meet? How did you start working with me?
Right. So the core dynamics was in Santa Fe, New Mexico with Michelle Larson. So I did the training with her. Then fast forward 5 some years, my position transferred me to LA. And my girlfriend there was like, you have to go see this instructor. She's the bee's knees of the West Coast, you know? And then I walked into your studio.
Okay, so it was
So,
at Studio Darien in Hollywood.
correct. Yes. And then I was hooked.
And did you feel certain sensations or actions in your body you had not in the program that you went through?
Correct. Because I remember we kind of discussed, tapped on this a little bit. Like I would learn different hand positions than the classical way, or different hands together or hands apart, you know, like little things like that. But the Gratz machine was a completely different feel than the balanced body machine. Like it was even more challenging.
They haven't had the opportunity to work on both
Yes.
to then
Yeah.
distinguish for themselves. Can you say a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the balanced body machine, I feel like is smoother in a way that you miss some of the end and beginning work. Kind of like it takes you through the exercise rather than like the Gratz, like you're in it in the middle, but there's still some play on each side of the beginning and the end of the exercise, if you will. And that was new to me. And that as a
Where in your body was it new?
mostly the core, you know, like mostly like, oh, I like that little, oh, I can go more, or oh, I have to go in a little bit more, you know, something to like really, which when you're experienced, those little challenges are exciting and they kind of spark some stuff in you.
For sure. Let me ask you, in our pre-interview, you talked about this stage zero diagnosis, which I think a lot of people don't know that
Yeah.
it exists. What's the difference between stage zero and stage one?
Yeah, I didn't even realize stage zero existed when I got the phone call. Like you said, I kind
You
of
went on with your life.
yeah, for like 2 weeks. And the doctor calls and is like, hello, you haven't scheduled anything. So I can see how the confusion can come in. But stage zero is the first representation of the earliest stage of abnormal cells. So it is basically mine was in the milk ducts. DCIS is ductal. And there's other kinds, but it's where it's contained inside the abnormal cell. It's not actually, as they called, spread into the other tissues or other, you know, areas of the breast. Still, with all that being considered, I opted for the lumpectomy, and then that's when they took out more of the tissue and found more of the abnormal cells, and then opted for the double mastectomy because then it was like I didn't really know what else was in there, you know?
Now you made the decision, but your doctor,
Yeah, she pushed for it.
oh, she pushed for it.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely was like, at first, the lumpectomy and radiation is the way to go because it's so small and so new. You know, it was like the earliest stage. So I thought, okay, like this is good. And then it was like, oh, this is bigger than what we think. So,
What was going on in your mind and heart at this point?
whew, it was a lot. It was a lot of fear. It's something that it's a club that you never want to join, you know, and you don't ever think it would happen to you. It was more of those thoughts like how I'm active, I'm healthy, I'm, you know, like how there's so many question marks in your head at the time that I feel like your team of doctors is really important. Like that's who you kind of can
Could they answer this basic
um
question? Why me?
yeah, no, they couldn't. They were like $1 million question, you know, like that's what everybody asks and they don't have the answers sometimes to ease that for you, you know, so it can just spiral in your head.
So when your doctor helped you understand that it probably would be better to remove both breasts,
hmm
did you sit down with your husband or your mom or
Yeah, actually both. And I mean,
were they freaking out or were they really supportive and anchoring for you?
I think I think my husband was really freaking out and had no idea what to do. And my mom had unfortunately been through it. So she knew more of the anchoring, and you need to do it safest, hands down. That's
Did she have a double mastectomy?
good. Yeah,
So it's genetic for you,
I think so.
but the
Yeah,
doctors didn't say.
they did not say, because even when I did the genetic testing, I am negative.
Oh my goodness.
I know, which is a little scary. So they say, every like 7 to 10 years, I guess new genes are found. So they think maybe like if I keep testing, maybe they'll find that gene. I don't know. Yeah. So it's just about staying on top of the mammograms and staying on top of you manually, doing your own self exams. And that's kind of how they told me when I was younger to manage it.
The mammogram changes, or do you still have to have them after you have?
I don't know. So I now just do manual. And if anything appears to be like visually or sensationally or through the hands, if they feel anything, then I would go in for an MRI or an ultrasound, depending on where it's located. But I don't have to have mammograms anymore, which is lovely. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So you're sitting at the table with your husband and your mom, and you probably already knew you were going to do it.
I did in the back of my mind, but I really didn't want to because I knew it was a huge sacrifice of everything that's like what's going on in your life at the time. It's so much
What was going on?
your children's schedules, your children's well-being, like the husband's work, the flow of the life work balance in the home. It's just all like all of that's going to be disrupted. And you do kind of take it on and feel bad because it's all going to be different.
And you were also teaching.
Yeah, I had a studio. So it was like I'm on top of handling my own stuff. I was going to care for others and provide. And so there was a lot of mixed feelings and a lot of not knowing which direction to go at first. I kind of knew, though, that's where it was going. And then eventually, fate decided it for me. So it was, yeah, it was not an easy decision, though, for sure. Like a lot of people, I think, oh, if that ever happened, I would just get them removed. And it's like, but then when that comes to you, you're like, oh, like this is really a big deal. Yeah.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
challenging.
Did your mom come and stay with you and take care of you?
So unfortunately, she couldn't. My two sisters did, and my sisters, both of them helped out with the kids, and then my husband was my caretaker. But my mom was with my dad, who was unfortunately falling ill and did
Mm.
pass away after a month after my surgery. So she had to really, divide her attention, which was hard. So she's in Florida, and so being it was not logistically, she wasn't capable of being here, which is hard.
She was there, obviously, in spirit.
Yes. A lot of conversations. Yes. Yeah. So,
So you go in and you have this surgery.
yeah.
And did you have any psychological?
Yeah. Trauma.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, yeah, for sure. No, 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 no. I'm thinking, did you have any therapy first to sort of prepare you for this event?
Yeah. Good question. So I did not have psychological, like emotional or mental therapy, like I didn't go down that path, which in hindsight now, I think it would be extremely beneficial to just lay the groundwork with somebody before you go through it. I did do pre-rehab. So I went into like a physical therapy facility and had this person work with me and see where I was before the surgery. And I said, I want you to get me back to this, like instead of starting from when you can't do something, like
That's so smart. Did you just come to that realization?
I did. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So he was great and he worked with me a lot. And then afterwards, he worked with me again. And I did do two physical therapists later down the road, one that was specialized in mastectomy recovery, because there are some things like manipulations that they do that the PT that I saw for the prehab wasn't qualified for, So then I was kind of doing both of them at the same time, which was nice though. I mean, it did. I loosened a lot, probably once you're cleared, once the doctors clear you, it's probably a good month, I'd say. And then you really start to feel like yourself again.
Were you in a lot of pain?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The first couple days, it's only days, it's not weeks. I mean, it's tender, but the first few days,
Did you feel weird though? Did you feel weird, like something
you feel like a heaviness. Like there's a lot going on right there for some reason. And you are on pain meds, which do help get you through the pain. I slept a lot. It's amazing. The body really heals itself literally every day. Like I felt myself stronger, not stronger, but like, oh, that doesn't hurt today, but that really hurt yesterday. Or I think I could move my elbow away from my waist. Like there's a period where you can't even move your arms. Yeah, like I slept upright in a reclining chair for a month, maybe more, because getting up and down is really painful. And yeah, it's
what we take for granted.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had a bit of like mom guilt from my kids helping me up and tucking me in, not the other way around, Like I was the one being tucked in and helped out of bed. It was like, oh, wow. Definitely humbling.
For sure. But the fact that you're so tuned into your body that you noticed small incremental changes
Yeah.
and improvements.
Yeah. It's amazing. Really cool to like feel it. I mean, unfortunate, obviously, but it really does heal more every day.
It's a beautiful thing that maybe we take for granted that our bodies are meant to be in what they say homeostasis and complete harmony.
Totally.
And that it wants to be healthy.
Yeah, it wants to that state. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So even though you had this trauma,
Yeah.
it's going to work for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like as Pilates instructors, we're able to like go to different parts of our body at once. Like not a lot of people can do that. So that was, I felt like,
That was a plus for you.
yeah,
And you could give more feedback to your doctors.
completely.
The trauma that you experienced, and I hear in your voice still exists, it's the PTSD component that is
I know.
hard to put, it's hard to explain. I say this firsthand from having, I went through this COVID experience. And for me, because I was infected in my studio by a client,
Yeah.
it took me over a year to be able to even walk to my door to open it, to go into my studio. Because all of a sudden, certain symptoms would start to show up.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
I don't know how you explain that to people who didn't go through it. I'm sure there's some similarities when people come back from war.
Right.
And they hear a sound or a smell or
Totally.
someone says something a certain way and it triggers.
Yeah.
So how has this whole PTSD thing impacted and affected you as a person, as a mom, as a wife? And if you've gone back to teaching, it's a lot to hold on to.
It is. And try to let go of. Yeah.
Exactly at the same time. Yeah.
I mean, the trauma, I started doing talk therapy after the surgery, and I didn't realize it was re-triggering the emotional responses. I didn't even know really there. I've heard of like somatic therapy or trauma therapy, but I don't know. I pictured it was like war veterans and like something more life-threatening than like
More dramatic, even more dramatic than taking
yeah, like I didn't almost die, thank God. But it was so I just associated that like I don't need that. Then down the road, it was like somebody recommended that I do speak to a trauma specialist because I was reliving and I wasn't moving on and I wasn't able to get myself out of those when I had those anxiety feelings, I wasn't able to get myself out of it. And sometimes I just I operated at that level and for a while, and it's either shut down, avoid, I'm out of it, or over hyper vigilant and like very too much, like too wanting to take on too much too quickly, I guess. And I could feel myself not in control of either of those, like something else was literally taking over. And the trauma specialist has been eye-opening because it's not about me. Like I thought it was something wrong with me. I reacted to this response and this trauma like this. And it was literally like my nervous system is dysregulated completely and is very hard to understand. And I don't think, like you were saying, if you don't go through it, many people don't understand that it's not actually the person, it's literally their system that's like haywire. So it takes a lot to get that parts of your system, I guess you could say.
So much so.
Yeah, to work again. So yeah, it's been a process. I stepped back from teaching. We were in a car accident, which was more trauma, that came at me.
Oh, how soon after?
A year after the surgery. It's been a year now since the car accident, but that was I fractured my sternum. It was pretty traumatic again.
Oh, that's interesting. So you fractured your sternum.
I thought I ruptured my implants, which was very scary because then I would have had to go through the whole thing. Not the whole thing again, but similar. And they didn't, which was amazing. So I was very fortunate on that. They were intact. So I didn't have to. I just had to heal my sternum. Yeah, and the bruises. And
so someone hit you. You were with your family?
Yeah, we were on spring break and we were going to the airport. It was the last day. And my husband was driving and we went around a curb, kind of like a hill, and there was a car coming right at us and we head on. It was very scary, and we were lucky we were going uphill, so we weren't going that fast. So the impact was still grand, obviously, because we suffered it.
And your children?
Both kids were in the car. They had burn marks from the seatbelts and a little bit of whiplash, but not severe, nothing else. So it was.
And your husband?
He was okay.
What?
Yeah, he was driving. I don't know. Maybe the steering wheel helped him. I don't know. But yeah, he was okay. So it was.
What was your first thought? What was your first thought when that happened? Hey, everybody. Are you ready to master your moves? So finally, the long-awaited update of my 2 Studio Darien mobile Pilates apps has arrived. Hallelujah. As you may know, classical Pilates is more popular than ever, and I was determined to once again offer you a classical Pilates resource. So my team and I redesigned these apps into one amazing app called Pilates Mastery. In this app, you'll find the 5 original videos and an added video, the first 7, 2 other sections never presented before, Pilates in 5, and my special series, Gold Talk. Pilates Mastery is available in the App Store and Google Play. And, by the way, our promotion is running through August 1st, 2025. So, before the cost of the app goes up, get your Pilates Mastery today. And now, back to the interview.
I wanted to jump back there and cover my kids and protect them, So I actually turned in an awkward way and then was hit in an awkward position. So I have some neck and shoulder stuff on the one side that was crushed. So, but no surgery, nothing that it was debilitating enough. But like we were saying, the trauma aspect was like, oh, wow, again,
Again.
Yeah.
So that's when you started to step back from teaching.
Yeah. Then I stepped back and then I really got more involved seeing the trauma specialist and just understanding, how to slow down my nervous system and kind of regulate it a little bit more.
Did that include meditation?
It does, but I'm horrible
I know.
at it.
I know
so
your
bad.
personality.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like I sit there, I'm like, I could be doing this, I could be doing that.
I know.
I need it. But it does include breath work, which I have enjoyed. And from Pilates, I feel like it resonates, like it feels healing to me. I'm not able to do it for very long periods of time. Like some people can do it 15, 20, 30 minutes, and I'm not there yet, but it's still helpful in calming me down a bit. So, especially like to go to sleep, just something so simple. It's really hard.
So you did step away from teaching, but with your own healing, you have
Yeah.
brought certain exercises back in. Are there exercises maybe that you created or you know enough about how your body moves?
Right.
Some different exercises that seem like they would be fitting for someone who had a mastectomy or double?
Yeah. So before the accident, after the rehabilitation and being kind of getting back into Pilates and everything, I decided to record and document my experience from the beginning stages of when I was first able to like do a little bit more movement. Like they kind of give you gradual steps, like do arm circles, but nothing else. Oh, now this week you can reach up to the top shelf. Oh, this week you can do both arms to the top shelf. So it was like a series of movements that progressed. And so I took that and kind of put it into I did like a 7-day guide, I call it, that is examples of me.
Oh, you created a guide.
Yes, I authored a guide that's like it's video, so you can see me actually doing the moves and me instructing. And it's just basic, but it progresses from the tiny, small range of motions into the bigger range of motions into very light weights, like just starting out adding resistance. That kind of came later though, and then the car accident, and then I fell back down. But
So were you explaining in your videos, taking people through your process in real time? So you're saying, okay, this is month 3, and now I'm able to do this kind of movement.
so I didn't include that exact footage. I just redid it. But I did record myself doing it. I mean, I could put that out, but it's not pretty.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, it's definitely the kind of the play by play, just in a more polished look.
You have that on your website.
I do. It's offered through my website.
What's your website?
It's the nighttechnique.com. So Night, Knight, my maiden name.
And have you partnered with your doctors or even your therapists?
Yeah, I haven't. Well, I'd say the closest in the medical field, like when you build a relationship with them, it's really the plastic surgeon. You see him or her, you see them for a while daily almost, and then weekly, and then monthly. And then so after the surgery, you really do establish a relationship. I mean, I have his personal cell. My husband has his personal cell number. Like we're very, like if anything goes wrong, he's like, call me instantly, and he responds. It's a nice support system.
Yes.
Yeah, which feels, yeah, wonderful. Some of the other doctors, I hope I never see.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That's unfortunate.
I know. Yeah.
Maybe not every doctor is intuitively a healer
No,
at heart.
exactly. Just that lack of attunement, sometimes not there. And
Maybe it was there when they first left medical school and then life took a hold and
right.
things changed for them.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows what they got going on?
We probably all have little snippets of PTSD floating through our body, and we don't even, I mean, I know
Yeah.
mine, but, and so do
Right.
you, but maybe everyone has trauma,
Exactly. And I think it really comes down to like,
self-care.
yeah, how you process it and take care of yourself with it. And there's many things you can say as a business owner, as a mom, as a professional, like you get wrapped up in what you're doing and you forget about that side of you. And so your system can kind of be like a cry for help. And I do think that's what happened to me, like
Can I ask you, have your children, do they respond differently to you now? Oh, they do.
Well, I think now they're back to normal, but they did for a while.
They're
They were
really careful.
very careful. Yeah, and they were wonderful. Like they even picked up like they have some chores and they would do more just on the side. Like for example, like my daughter would just make her bed every morning and she still does usually, but it starts to sometimes
Slack off.
she starts to not. Yeah, exactly. But even like a hug, they used to be like really gentle and not jump
Oh,
on me and or like my son is a little more rough now, so it's kind of yeah, subsiding, but I'm not in pain anymore. So
maybe they're taking your cue.
yeah, exactly. And I do think with the car accident, following, it was like, here we are again. So, but they're definitely, they're well, 13 and 11 and a half now. So they got a lot going on. Yeah.
I can't believe I knew you before they were even
A
a
thought.
spark. Yes, even a thought in
Yeah.
your brain. I think I knew you before you met your husband.
You did, yeah. Well, I think I just had met him when I moved to Los Angeles from New York. I just met him, so it wasn't even. It was just like some guy. Yeah.
But I
No, he
think at
was.
some point you came to class and you said, I think I'm moving.
Oh, how funny. Yeah,
And I said, oh, so it's then serious. And you
serious.
said, I think this is the guy.
So I was moving up to San Francisco probably because we relocated from LA to there, and that's where he was.
Yes. And then you found me again. And then we worked a little bit up here.
Yes, and it was perfect timing because I had just had my babies, so I needed rehab again. And there you were. I was like, oh, so I drove like an hour and a half or something to see you 3 times a week. I was like, I am only going to Darien. Yeah,
So crazy.
it was amazing. Yeah, I love that time though. I got to follow you a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great.
Am I allowed to ask about your relationship with your husband, if that's changed and how is his mental?
Yeah, capacity.
How,
Um,
yeah.
it did change. It was challenging, I think, for he's, he's a guy, so he likes to
He's a
fix things.
dude.
He's a dude, yeah, and he wants things to like, he finds
He's a fixer.
solutions in the problems, and he could not fix this. That was the most challenging part for him as to how to relate, I think. So, yes, we still have our conversations about it, that knowing now what we know, but we didn't know then, so there's no like blame or anything. It's just like, that would have been nice if you would have checked in more or something like that. Like, I think the guy has a lot of the weight of being, the knight in shining armor and he's the caretaker. So he's got to like hold the fort down in that way while still
Being loving.
being him and riding. And yeah, and he was lucky his business gave him off it was a month, I think he had off. And they said, just stay home and take care of her. And
And did he? And was he present?
yeah, he was actually the one who really, like, I think the most gruesome part of the surgery is, I mean, you don't see yourself for at least 2 weeks. You're all bandaged up and they don't change it. You don't really see that part. But you have these tubes protruding from your sides and drains, and you have to empty the drains multiple times a day. And I couldn't do it. I almost passed out. I mean, a couple times I was like, okay, I could do it this time, like,
It's like the fluid builds up as
yeah,
the body's healing, and then
correct.
it has to go somewhere.
Yeah. Not to be gruesome, but there are like other things in there besides just blood. Oh, yeah. So I
Yeah.
couldn't do it on my own. He was fine with it. So you have to record it. Like it has to be at a certain place and then they can take it.
You mean amount?
Yeah, the amount, sorry. So it's like if it gets below a certain amount, then you're allowed to get your tubes out. So it's like this, you really want to change them a lot and empty it so your body can keep pulling it out. That was the hardest part. I mean, but he really did The medication is the other challenging side. When you're on medication, you're not like, I would be like, did I take that pill? Did I take that? And he's like, no, we wrote it down. And thank God he wrote it down because we were both a little sleepless. And he'd be like, no, you took that an hour ago, or,
So he was fixing. He was the fixer.
He was a fixer in a way. Yes. Yes. He did get his needs met.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was a good team. And I do think this experience does kind of teach you that. Like the kids had to help out and get their own breakfast and certain things. Like, my sisters were here to take them places. Like they were in charge of them, which was
Everyone had to step up because mom was healing.
exactly like my jobs were, I couldn't do any of them. So it was great.
Does that mean your husband, perhaps through through your experience, has he learned things about himself maybe he didn't know? And if so, has that brought you closer?
Completely. Yes. I mean, it was very eye-opening because the person who's going through it sometimes it's frustrating at times when your healing is not going as linear as you'd like or as quickly as you'd like, or, there's a lot of meltdowns and it's exhausting, I'm sure, for him as well. So there was definitely moments where like we were each exhausted and I could see either him getting into the habit of, the avoid the guy thing, like the avoid, the go do something else, it's hard to pull him back in and like kind of just, you really had to be communicative and we aren't that way usually. So that was very eye-opening that, wow, we should do this more. It's like easier actually. So for him, it was a change.
It's a new skill, new skill for him.
Totally.
He probably wasn't taught that or it wasn't modeled for him.
Exactly. Yeah. No, not at all. So that's been still a work in progress because there are still times that like now that we know what that feels like to have, it's nice. It's way easier. So
and that affects your children because they watch how you two relate to each other.
Completely, 100%. I don't think a lot of well, I know some do, but I should just speak about me here, but we weren't really like, how does this emotionally affect you? Like we weren't really getting into the emotions with the kids yet because they weren't to that age either. Now we're entering teenage years, so it's a little bit more emotional, but that really opened that door, back then to be like, hey, how are you with this? Like, are you scared? And they were terrified I was going to die. And it was really good for the whole family to be on the same page and understand why my son's having a meltdown. Like, oh, he's probably really scared right now. Not just that he's having a fit. Yeah. It did teach us a lot in hindsight.
I'm thinking that you as a mom, especially because your mom went through something similar, in the back of your mind, are you thinking about Stella?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was one of her first questions as well, which is heartbreaking. I know. And I just had to reassure her, like, especially by then, there's going to be so much more advances that they will have what she needs, and they have what I need. Who knows by then? There's a lot of studies on DCIS that they don't even know if they're going to, I don't want to say continue it to be cancer, but it's such a different, I didn't even know there was different kinds of breast cancer. Like this whole experience has opened my eyes to, all that. And I didn't realize there was all these different kinds. And that one is the least invasive and the least, I guess, harmful. So there's discussion or research on it. And, who knows, they might not even do a mastectomy with DCIS one day. So I'm hoping that all kind of transpires for her day and age.
Is there a test after she doesn't have her period yet, or does she?
Doesn't. No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I know.
As her hormones start to change and
those
shift.
are starting. Yeah.
Is there a test?
There's not, which is a bummer. I mean, she'll just have to do mammograms and that type of stuff. Probably, I feel like they do it younger now. When I was in college, I think it was like 30. And now I think it's down to 25 if you have family history that you start doing mammograms.
Oh.
So it'll just be about her doing her checkups regularly. which, who knows? Or genetic testing could advance, which would be great. And then, she would have more research for it to kind of figure out if it's present or not.
Have you thought about writing, maybe even just for your family, but have you thought about writing a piece about this experience from a familial perspective and how your family, maybe you were happy-go-lucky, a few little dramas, but everything, you weren't touched yet.
Right.
And now you've had this impactful thing happen in your life. Have you thought about writing?
I haven't. It's actually interesting. There is a lot of archives up there that would be.
To help other families that may
Yeah.
just be going through this.
Yeah.
Something that you could put on your website.
It's a wonderful idea. Yeah. And it would help me probably process. Mhm.
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe other stuff would come out of it
Right.
that you don't even
Realize it.
consciously know. Right.
Mhm.
Okay, I like that idea. You
I
need to
know.
do
Thanks,
it.
Darien. Yeah.
Yes. Well, tell us your website again and what else you have on your website and how someone can reach out to you. There's
Yeah.
probably lots of other questions that I could be asking you about your process and what now you have. I don't want to say that you've just had this experience and now you have to share it with the world, but
Okay.
we are here to serve. And sometimes it's through our worst experiences where we have the most to give.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my website is thenighttechnique.com and it's KNIGHT. And I have like a Pilates section. I have a Barre section since I used to teach that for many years. And I have a mobility section. And the mobility section kind of came about from the injuries and surgeries and movement that felt really good after surgery, instead of just like Pilates always feels really good too, but there's certain things that I felt like were not being addressed. So I kind of included a little bit more of like the physical therapy side, if you will. It's not like I created it all, but just those moves. And then there's the 7-day movement guide.
What's the name of it?
It's the 7-day back to movement guide. I had to think about it. Yeah. So
Wonderful.
yeah. And then I have some other programs like 10-day, 4-day, bunch of programs to kind of keep you consistent, because sometimes it's very easy to, especially online, like, oh, I'll do this workout. And then it's like, which workout do I do next? So I kind of created like different programs so it keeps you there, keeps you involved in it.
So if somebody has a question about any of your programs, or they might even just be feeling like you could mentor them on some level, is your phone number there? What's the best way? They would email you?
They could totally email me. I have access through the website, and you can just go there and hit connect or contact me, and it will go right to my email. Or you can email me personally, which is nightshelly@gmail.com.
Wonderful. I feel like we could talk at least an hour more.
I know, we could.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Thank you for allowing me to express it. And, I do hope it reaches people that do have question marks in their head and, and gives them a little bit of that peace knowing they're not the only one and there are answers out there. They're not always easily found, but to like keep the hope and keep listening to yourself. I think that's the biggest thing, is really paying attention to, like, if you don't like something, like a certain doctor even.
Because you were saying that, didn't you go to the plastic surgeon to find the right?
Yeah, breast surgeon. Yeah. So I had a team and then things weren't working out. I didn't feel right. So I
listened
and found a really good plastic surgeon, met with him, and he kind of was like, you're doing this backwards, but it worked. And he had because they have to be able to work together in the same hospital. So even if you find, one or the other, it's like if they don't work together, you can't use them. So he had one that he really entrusted and worked with for many years. And so I went with her, and it was a great team. It's a lot, but I just want people, like, if anybody has questions, please reach out. Like, I would be open to it for sure.
Thank you. for your wisdom.
Aw.
Who knew you were going to end up with all this wisdom now?
Yes, right. Thank you. I know. I did not. Yeah.
Now you're a sage,
Aw, thank you.
All right,
Yes.
Shelly. Thank you so much.
You too.
Thank you. All Things Pilates is produced, written, edited, and hosted by me, Darien Gold. Mastered audio mix, Fabian Romero. Original music, a.k.a. Johnny. If you're enjoying this show, we would love for you to leave a review on Apple Podcasts so you can let others know what you like or love about All Things Pilates. Also, if you're interested in helping to support this podcast, become a subscriber. It helps with the back-end costs that accrue when producing a show. To learn more about our growing community, check out our show notes. Opportunities to find deeper powers within ourselves come when life seems most challenging. Joseph Campbell.